The new Karen at my job accuses moi of taking money from the company. But in a year's time, I get my revenge. Hi, I'm Jason, and welcome to the only YouTube channel that gives advice not to the original posters, but only to the people who are watching my videos. Now this story is for all my people who remember on Mondays they have to go to work and hate it, like most of us do. So, to make the week start out a little bit sweeter, I'm going to do Malicious Compliance Mondays. It's all about people who had to do horrible things at their job or people who antagonized them at their job. But somehow they got their revenge. Now, let's learn from others. At my job, every day I have to travel between two offices. I start at my main office, then I have to travel to the second office, then back to my main office. Because I'm using my personal vehicle for this travel, the company pays me mileage. Well, there are basically two routes you can take between the two offices. One is about a mile round trip shorter, but has tolls. So I always took the 1 mile longer route to avoid the toll. I did it this way for a year. Well, in comes the new bookkeeper, and she's hell-bent on saving the company money. And where does she think all this wasteful money is going? Expense reports, obviously. So she starts nitpicking every report. Like if someone is out and has to buy some pens for work, she goes online and finds the cheapest possible price for those pens and only reimburses them for that cheaper price. It obviously has pissed several people off. Well, she eventually decided to target me. I submit my report for 2 weeks, and a few days later, I get the reimbursement payment. Well, it's $5.85 short. I ask her about it, and she says, I've been ripping off the company for the past year by taking the longer route between the offices. She will only pay mileage for the shorter route from now on. And I'm lucky she doesn't go back and take all the extra from the past year. I say, okay, but to please send me that per her, I must take the shorter route, and that this is company policy, and I leave the office. Before I even made it to my desk, I had the email from her confirming what she said. 2 weeks later, I submit my expense report. I reported the shorter route, so the company saved $5.85. But tolls added up to $136, a net loss for the company of $130.15. It's been 6 months, and I'm still taking the shorter route, costing the company an extra $130.15 every 2 weeks. This extra cost to the company went on all last year, but by my estimates, it cost the company about an extra $3,500 last year. So the third week of December, we have our annual budget review with all the department heads. It's usually just a quick chit-chat about how things went over the year, then we all get a nice catered lunch. This year, it went a little different. First, Karen Bookkeeper asked that we have a projector set up in the conference room so she could give a presentation on how much she saved the company since she was hired at the beginning of the year. This was great for me. I prepared my own presentation. She starts off the meeting going over each department, going over the changes she's made to save money. Her big cherry on top of her savings was how much she saved the company by cracking down on excess expense reimbursements. Now, I should say here that she is not liked by any of the department heads. Most of the employees have complained to the department heads about her bull, and they've been forced to just take the complaints with no power to do anything about it. I, on the other hand, am a one-person department. So our presentation ends with a big hooray on how cutting down on expense reimbursements has saved the company a whole $3,500 last year. Then we start going over each department's budgets. Everything is going normally until they get to my budget. Wait! Why is it so far over budget, my boss asks. And this is when my short PowerPoint gets played. I bring up the first slide. It's the slightly longer route I was taking between offices. I explained this was the route I was taking and what the mileage reimbursement was. The next slide was the new shorter route. I explained that Karen forced me to take this route because the mileage reimbursement was less, saving the company about $5.85 every 2 weeks, a little more after the mileage rate went up in July. Then I showed them the next slide of Karen's email. Included in that email is a part about this being final, and there will be no further discussion on the matter. The final slide was all the toll reimbursements I was paid over the year, including the approximate year-to-date that was a result of this new, shorter route. I explained that had I been able to discuss the matter with Karen, I could have explained that the shorter route had these extra tolls. And I said, that's the reason why I'm so over budget this year. The room was silent for what seemed like forever. Then the owners of the company asked everyone except for Karen to step out of the room for a few minutes. When the door opened back up, Karen walked out silent, went to her desk, and started packing up her things. That was the end of Karen. Now, I wish I could tell you I have much better advice for you, but I think this guy handled it perfectly. They say patience is a virtue, right? So, he was patient. And the other thing you must know are the rules. That's how most of the time people who find themselves in difficult situations get a way out that is satisfactory to them. If they don't know the rules, they very easily can get tripped up and find themselves in a bad spot. Out of your job, fired, out of a relationship, in trouble with the law, etc. But by knowing the rules and being patient, he was able to turn the tables on Karen and get her fired. Now, we don't know what happened afterwards, but hopefully his bosses kept an eye on him and remembered that he pointed out the cancerous Karen and saved the company money. Now, that's all I have for you today on Malicious Compliance Mondays. I hope you enjoyed the story, and come back tomorrow when I have something else for you to learn from others. Have a good night.
Tangled in this office maze, it's not what it seems. A coworker out to get me, plotting wicked schemes. Tried to play nice and get along, but now that's done. This war is on, I'll fight until I've won. I won't lose myself in this twisted game we play. Gotta rise above, show them I ain't gonna sway. With every step they take, I'll match it with my own. I won't back down, greatness in my bones. She believes she's won, but my plan is in place. With logic and patience, I set things at my own pace. She thinks she's won, but she's in for a surprise. With my clever strategy, I'll outsmart her lies.